Welcome all to the Euro 2024 preview show. I'm your co-host, Redbeard, and joined as always by the lovely Targo.
What's up, guys?
Today we're going to dive into the much anticipated UEFA European Championship in Germany this year. The Euros promise thrilling matches, spectacular goals, unforgettable moments as the continent's top teams battle it out for glory.
We'll break down the groups, highlight key players to watch, and of course, make our predictions for potential dark horses and the eventual champions. We've got you covered with all the insights and analysis you'll need to stay ahead of the game. Let's kick this football party off right now.
What up, my dude?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I mean, we got 3 days as of this recording until the Euros start.
That's why I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt, man, because it is about to be a football vacation here coming up.
Dude, it's going to be. This summer is going to be crazy. We'll kick it off with the Euros, and we'll have the Copa America. And it's a big one. It's all of the Americas. It's crazy. And then the Olympics, literally right afterwards. And then before you know it, back into Premier League football.
That's right. What are you drinking for this vacation kickoff, so to speak?
I have, straight from Texas, Carbach Hopadillo IPA.
Hopadillo? That is a Hopadillo.
Yeah. He lurks in the shadows, waiting in bold anticipation. He's surprisingly bitter about something. Legend has it that he feasts on those with fresh hops coursing through their veins. Dry hop Texas IPA.
So he's going to come after you is what I'm hearing.
Flavor as defiant as the Hopadillo himself. Beer number 2 for my client.
Oh, there you go. How is the Hopadillo?
It is bitter. It is hoppy.
Did you expect anything less from the name?
No, not really. I feel like someone that really loves IPAs would love this beer. I'm not that person. It's way too bitter for me. But I'll get through it. I'm going to give it I'll go with 6 out of 10.
Ooh, okay. Well, I am drinking high quality H2O today because I have a soccer game later, so I'm not trying to drink before that. That's just asking for heartburn.
Good quality hydrogen and oxygen.
Yep. Dihydrogen monoxide is what I'll
Yes,
call
that's
it.
exactly what it is. All right, with that, let's get a word from our sponsor.
Today's episode is brought to you by Acorn Hills Clothing Company. Sustainable clothing, biodegradable packaging, tree planted for every purchase, and a percentage of their sales donated to charities.
Yeah, and that's not even the best part. They give you these plantable clothing tags with every purchase. Pretty much greatest idea ever.
That
you
is
scan
awesome.
The QR code right here for planting instructions. So make sure you go to www.acornhillsco.com and use Brews15. That is BREWS15 at checkout for 15% off and have your tree planted today.
Yes, don't forget to use our code Brews15 at checkout for 15% off. This is one you don't want to miss, guys. Now that we've heard from our sponsors, let's get into Germany, shall we? The Euros, Group A. It's going to be a good one. We got Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. Shall we start with Germany? The hosts.
It's the only way to do it, my friend.
Coached by Julian Nagelsmann. They're ranked 16 by FIFA. Pretty high for Germany. I'm a little surprised. As in not closer to number 1.
Yeah. I think it's one of the first times they've been outside the top 10 in a long time. As far as I can remember. But they seem to have a resurgence under Nagelsmann. Haven't done well in the last couple of tournaments, so see if the host can find something up there, you know what.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last tournament, they went out in the group stages of the World Cup. Group stage exit the World Cup. Yeah, I mean, What are the expectations, I guess, for Germany since they're the host nation? Like, where do you expect them to kind of finish? A quarterfinal,
Well,
semifinal, round of 16?
I would say as a country that has such rich history as Germany does, and their fans, it's at home. I mean, with them essentially having every game being a home match, I would expect them to at least make the quarterfinals. With the quality of teams around them, it's really going to depend on who they would face, because there are some heavyweights in this tournament, and Germany has been playing well of late. They do have some fantastic talent on their squad, though. So
they do, and so like I kind of would put them in, I would say, the second tier of teams. So the top tier, you have the best teams. I would say Germany are in that second tier of teams, and I'll mention some other teams that are in the second tier, that first tier. But I think that's where they're at, and I think a quarterfinal appearance would be fantastic. That's kind of where I expect them probably to go out, because again, they're better than most teams, but there are also some teams that are better at this tournament. I mean, like you mentioned, the quality. I mean, they do have loads of talent, man. With Toni Kroos back, they look like a different team. They haven't lost. I'm excited to see Florian Wirtz at his first major tournament. Jamal Musiala, Gundogan, Leroy Sané. I mean, so many good players.
Yeah. I mean, you got, Füllkrug and Kai Havertz up front, both in fantastic form. A defense that's got some great players. I mean, Rudiger is arguably the best defender in the world right now. Nico Schlotterbeck having a fantastic season. Same with Jonathan Tah. Joshua Kimmich as well. Benjamin Hendricks. And as always, Manuel Neuer in goal, or you could even go to Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. I mean, they got worlds of talent in goal. So, should be interesting to see how they do.
You think this is Manuel Neuer's last Euros?
It has to be. What is he, 36?
He old. I don't know how old he is, but he's up there.
I don't think, especially after his accident that put him out for, what was that, 2 years almost?
Yeah, a year.
I don't think you'll see him be like a Gigi Buffon play until he's 40. I definitely don't think so. So I think you're probably onto something with that being this being his last Euros.
I mean, let's look at the players they left home. Some notable omissions include Leon Goretzka, Mats Hummels, Julian Brandt. Any of those three players you think you would have taken?
Mats Hummels, 100%. I mean, the season he had and the way he's been playing, especially in the Champions League, I understand he doesn't have the best legs, so you probably can't play him every match, which is going to be, every 3-4 days. But I'm very surprised. There's some names on here that I probably wouldn't have taken Mats Hummels instead. But
I can disagree with you. So I heard some stuff, on the internet, obviously, about why Julian Nagelsmann left out Mats Hummels, and it's because if he brought him, he probably wouldn't have played. Let's be honest there, with Jonathan Tah and Rudiger and Schlotterbeck ahead of him. Mm-hmm. And so he could have been a disruption in the locker room because he wasn't going to be playing. And so that's why I heard why he left him out of this tournament.
Okay.
Which to me makes sense.
I guess I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, you would feel that a guy of his character would be more of a leader on the team than cause more of a scene. But I'm not there in person. I don't know Mats Hummels personally, as Julian Nagelsmann does. So I think he probably knows much better than I do.
Okay, well, outside Florian Wirtz, which player are you looking the most forward watching for this Germany team?
I mean, it's got to be Jamal Musiala, doesn't it?
I'm going to go with a wild card. I'm going to say Maximilian Bayer, who plays for Hoffenheim. Young 21-year-old. I'm excited to see him at the Euros, see if he can get his play time, because he lit up the Bundesliga this season.
Yeah, he did. Same did Dennis Undav. So we'll see if he makes it onto the pitch as well. Like we said, they got a plethora of talent. Be interesting to see. I mean, even Alexander Pavlovich, after seeing him play for Bayern Munich against Real Madrid, they got something there. So,
and I feel like Nagelsmann can go with multiple formations depending on who he plays. He can have Leroy Sané or he can have Musiala. A player who likes to come inside versus Sané is going to hug that wing. Kai Havertz as a false nine or Nicholas Füllkrug as that target forward. So, I mean, there's loads of different formations Nagelsmann could do. So it'll be interesting to see how they play.
Definitely.
Well, that's enough about Germany. Let us know what you guys think. How are they going to do in this tournament? Let us know in the comments. Do you think they're potential winners, or are they looking at a quarterfinal exit? Let's move on to Scotland. FIFA ranked 39, coached by Steve Clark. Scotland look terrible form right now, man. They're in terrible form. They haven't won a game since September 8th, 2023 against Cyprus in a Euro qualifier. They finished above Norway, Georgia, and Cyprus in the Euro qualifiers, just behind Spain. So they came in that second spot. I mean, is there any hope for Scotland to make it out of this group?
I mean, they're going to have to play some fantastic counterattacking football. But, I mean, they must have done something right if you're going to finish above Norway with the likes of Martin Odegaard and Erling Haaland. So, is there any way that they finish higher than the bottom of the group? No, I don't think so. Not with the other teams in this group. So
pretty much that's it, huh? Last Euros they finished bottom of their group. So you're predicting it again?
Yeah. I just don't see enough going forward for them. Defensively, they could be sound and, possibly not give up as many goals as some people are thinking. But, I mean, Scott McTominay is their leading goal scorer in qualifying. Maybe he was even, close to the top for goal scorers as far as Golden Boot in qualifying. I know he scored a boatload for him, but I don't think you can count on him to lead you against some of these bigger teams.
I mean, yeah, so they're going to be relying on Shea Adams, forward for Southampton. The preferred striker, Lyndon Dykes, will miss the tournament due to injury, along with right back Aaron Hickey, who's a notable absence.
Yeah, it's a big blow.
So I think they're going to struggle for goals, man. I honestly do. I think they're going to struggle for goals.
Yeah, I think so too. I wouldn't be surprised if they only score 1 or 2 in the entire tournament.
I mean, they didn't. Yeah, we'll see. Well, let's move on. Okay.
You look at the teams they're going up against,
and
they all seemingly have pretty stout defenses. So
Scott McTominay is going to have to turn into prime Ronaldinho here to get them out of this group.
We've seen him do it, so we'll see.
Made myself laugh, dribbled a little there. Let's move on to Switzerland, shall we? The Swiss, FIFA ranked 19. Probably going to butcher the coach's name, Murat Yakin. They finished second in their group behind Romania, which I'm going to come out and say it, man. That's pretty disappointing when you look at the group they were in.
Well, and looking at the last couple of major tournaments they've played in, they've been a hard outfit to beat. So finishing behind, Romania in a group that had Israel, Kosovo, Belarus, and Andorra, it is very disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah, out of those 10 matches, they only won 4 in qualifying. Honestly, Switzerland, I don't know if you remember, last Euros, they did really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they knocked out, was it France in the quarters?
Something like that,
or it was the round of 16, but they made it to the quarters the last time out. And as you might remember at the World Cup, they got knocked out in the round of 16, getting absolutely spanked by Portugal. That was when Gonçalo Ramos really announced himself to the world.
Right.
But I don't know about this team, man. I think they might struggle for goals as well. Their main goal threat, Breel Mbolo, was out injured most of the season for, I believe, Monaco. You think their backup, Noah Okafor, good player, got his move to AC Milan, but is he really a prolific striker that can get you goals?
No, I don't think of him as that. I mean, they have some good players going forward. I mean, Zeki Amdouni was good on a terrible Burnley team. But is he good enough to?
Good
enough.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, is he good enough to get him there? And you look at their midfield; it's old, it's aging. I mean, Jordan Shaqiri, I can't even believe he made the squad. So,
I mean, they got some good midfielders. Granit Xhaka, Dennis Zakaria, Vargas, Freuler. not bad. A couple good defenders, Fabian Schär, Manuel Akanji. Goalkeepers, no issues there. Kobel and Jan Sommer. So again, it's up front. It's their attack that I think worries me.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of it, too, is going to be, the other teams in this group. I just don't see them coming out of it. They are definitely better than Scotland. I'll give them that. So
that leaves us with one more team, man. Hungary.
Oh, yeah.
FIFA ranked 26, coached by Marco Rossi. Didn't lose a game during qualification. Finished top of Group G ahead of Serbia, Montenegro, Lithuania, and Bulgaria. I'm excited about this Hungary team, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an easy group to qualify first out of, let alone go undefeated.
Oh, 100%. I feel like this is a team. This is like a team. You know what I mean? This isn't a individual players. This is a team led by Dominik Szoboszlai. And he went off in these qualifiers. Hopefully he can have a good tournament. I think Hungary's success will definitely rely on how he performs.
I agree with that, and especially with his form come the end of the season in the Premier League wasn't great. So hopefully he can find that form again, and Hungary can do well.
I think they got gypped last Euros. I don't know if you remember. They were in the group of death.
I do.
With Portugal, France, and Germany. And they actually got 2 draws against France and Germany in that last time out. So maybe they can get something against Germany this time. But how do you have this group finishing? Give me the order. Who you got finishing first?
All right,
second,
so
third,
I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna go with Scotland last, Switzerland in third, Germany in second, and Hungary to top this group.
Okay. So
I think Germany at this point, they are starting to get back to where they were, but they're not quite there yet. And I feel like Hungary, because they are such a team, like you said, they're very together. They play as one unit. Germany's not quite to that point at this moment. Scotland and Switzerland, I don't think either one of them are going to do very well. I think their only chance for a win in this is probably going to be against each other. And yeah, I feel like Germany coming in second in this group, that might be a springboard for them to do better come the knockout rounds. But I think it's a little too soon for them in the group stages.
I think Germany will definitely have to be one of those teams that finds themselves throughout this tournament, through these group stages, and then progressively gets better. I think that will be the case. But I do have Germany topping this group, followed by Hungary, then Switzerland and Scotland. And that's how I have it finishing.
Nice.
Let's move on to Group B.
Group of death.
Labeled the Group of Death. You're not wrong. So this one has Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
Poor Albania.
Poor Albania. Probably.
Yeah, so Spain, let's get on to them, as they are always seemingly around the favorites of every major tournament they go into. Not quite this one. I think probably closer to that second tier, like you were saying with Germany in this one. Coached by Luis de la Fuente. They are stacked with young talent, man. Are they a favorite to win it all? You heard my opinion.
I think they're definitely one of the favorites. I would put them, for me, at least top 5. Okay. They're ranked 8th in the world by FIFA.
Yeah.
I mean, even you see the players they left home in Pau Torres, Marco Asensio, Pedro Porro, Lucas Vasquez. I mean, some talent right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they got a mixture of experience and youth throughout this squad. Who is going to be for you? Give me, one of the old elderly players in this squad that really excites you, and then 2 of the youngsters that will really excite you in this team.
So I guess Rodri he's not old, but he's a veteran for that Spain team. But the youngsters, man, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams on the wings. I'm looking forward to watching these youngsters get at defenders and get that dribble penetration. So I think that'll be fun.
Should be. Yeah, Mikel, was it Irizabal?
Oh, Irizabal, yeah.
Yeah. He always excites me watching him for Sociedad. He's not quite a young buck anymore, but for me, I love watching Fermin Lopez for Barcelona. He is so exciting going forward. and he's so unpredictable. And then Danny Olmo, man, I love watching him play.
I like watching Danny Olmo as well.
And he's one of those players that he'll just take a team on his back. You need a goal, he'll create one, or he'll put it in the back of the net. So, yeah, I think this team, the ceiling for them, I would say, is probably higher than a lot of these other teams. But will they be able to find where that ceiling is?
What would be the reason they don't win this tournament?
Not finding their potential, passing the ball laterally instead of vertically too much.
They like the whole possession. What's funny is going in this tournament, you know exactly how Spain are going to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're going to play that tiki-taka side to side the whole time. I just think sometimes they do it a little too much. They're not as adventurous enough going forward as they should be. So I think that might be their Achilles heel in this one. How many chances they can be able to create.
I think it's going to depend on their striker position, Morata and Jolesu, on how clinical they can be in their finishing. I think that will determine how this Spain team really does. Whether they can win this tournament. I think they're also a quarterfinal minimum, I would say, would be their expectation.
Yep. And honestly, for them, I feel like topping this group will be a big springboard for that if they can do it.
Yes, yes, it will be. And they'll be looking to bounce back after that loss to Morocco at the World Cup in the round of 16.
Right. I mean, they did top their group in qualifying, losing only one game, and it was to Scotland, of all teams. Biggest question marks for this team for you, though?
It's that striker position.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they lost in the last Euros in the semis to Italy on PKs. Again, I feel like come the knockout round, that's going to be same story. I think they're probably going to go into PKs a couple of times.
Which at that point, it's a lottery.
It is. All right, let's move on to the next team. We got Croatia, who have been doing very well in major tournaments. Their FIFA ranked is 10th. I'm going to probably butcher their coach's name, and Zlatko Dalic, or I got it right. I don't know.
Sounded pretty good to me.
Yeah. They finished second in their qualifying group behind Turkey, of all teams. They beat out Wales, Armenia, and Latvia, which is not a very strong group. Going to the tournament with a big win over Portugal, lost to Argentina in the semis of the World Cup, went out in the round of 16 last Euros to Spain. This team's got a load of talent, man, but they're getting old. Likes of Modric, Brozovic, Perisic, and Kramaric.
They do still have quality, though, man.
They do. And they're one of those teams that no matter how much star power they have, they still play like a unit. And which is why they seem to do so well in a lot of these tournaments. So for them, where do you see their strengths and where do you see their weaknesses?
Well, strengths obviously going to be experience because they got loads of it everywhere. But it could also be their downfall. I'll see how those legs do after a long season. Modric playing for Real Madrid, albeit he probably had quite a bit of rest coming off the bench. But defensively, I think they'll be all right. Gvardiol, they got a good midfield. Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic. Up top, we'll see what they can do. They got some young, exciting players coming up, so it'll be interesting to see how they get out of this group. I think they will get out of this group. I think this might be a group where you see 3 teams get out. But yeah.
Okay. We'll see. I mean, they always have a solid team. They always... not always, but more recently, they have done very well in major tournaments. So we'll see when we get to the predictions what you think. Let's move on to Italy, our reigning champs. FIFA ranked is 9th, coached by Luciano Spalletti. Finished second in their qualifying group behind England, ahead of Ukraine, North Macedonia, and Malta. Which Italy team are we going to get, my friend?
I don't know, man. Is this going to be the Italy team that wins tournaments or the one that doesn't qualify for the World Cup?
I don't know.
There's always question marks over Italy.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, coming out of last Euros, everybody thought they were going to qualify pretty easily.
Yeah.
For the World Cup. So, I don't know. I don't know either. They have so much talent, but how are they going to play? And that's really, for me, where you could find like 4 or 5 different Italy teams. But which one are we going to get?
I'll be curious to see what their midfield looks like. I'm guessing, obviously, Nicolo Barella and Jorginho will be in it. And then who's going to be the third? Fagioli or Lorenzo Pellegrini? I don't know.
I don't think Jorginho will be that one, but it would also surprise me if he was.
I think he will be. The defense also has question marks. Acerbi won't be making this tournament through injury. And you got to think, man, they lost two of the best defenders of all time, and Bonucci and Chiellini. They're no longer in that back line, and they were there last Euros doing their dark arts, helping them to win that tournament.
Yeah, you'd have to think Bastoni will play, but after that, it's like they have quality on the wings as far as outside backs.
Yeah, and Federico DiMarco, yeah. I mean, there's no Spinazzola. He's no longer in this team.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big part of their tournament last year. And then up top, I'm guessing probably will be Scamacca. Federico
I would assume so.
Up there. Maybe a Raspadori. And, we'll see. We'll see how they line up. I feel like there's question marks in certain positions.
Quite a
couple
few
spots.
And a team like Italy, you would think there'd be a lot less question marks. So what are the expectations for Italy as reigning champions?
It's hard to be an Italian fan, man. Like, because how do you have an expectation of winning the Euros, but then the next World Cup round don't even qualify? They haven't qualified for a couple World Cups.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like my expectations would be pretty low at this point.
But they are the reigning champs.
They are the reigning champs, which is weird to say. But honestly, I could see them not qualifying out of this group or making the semifinals. I don't know.
I don't know either. So before we get to where you think they're going to finish, let's get to Albania, who are ranked 66th in FIFA World Rankings. They're coached by a guy who we're both very familiar with in Silvino. Top Group E in qualifying, beating out Czechia, Poland, Moldova, and the Faroe Islands. So not a terribly strong group, but also surprising that they finished above the Czechs and the Poles. Do they get any points in this group?
I can see him getting nothing, or I could see him maybe getting a draw against Croatia and Italy.
Okay.
But I feel bad for Albania, man. They're just...
I do too.
Good for them making the tournament. They got a couple good players, and Armando Broja, who plays for Chelsea. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they do. I mean, not a whole lot of talent. They got a couple players. Ramadani, who plays for Lecce. Kumbula, who plays for Sassuolo. So, I mean, they got some players who play in Italy and Premier League. So,
okay,
we'll see what they can do.
How do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to finish last.
Okay. What does the rest of the group look like?
So, I got Albania last, then Italy, then Croatia, and Spain topping the group.
Okay. I have a similar group as I have Albania in last, Italy in third, Spain in second, and Croatia topping the group.
Croatia, okay.
Yep. I think they will do well in the group stage. I don't think they'll go much further than that, though. So, okay, on to Group C, my friend.
Group C. Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Let's start with Slovenia. They're ranked 62nd. Coach is Matthias Keek. Finished second in Group H in qualifiers behind Denmark, who are also in this group, which is kind of
that is odd.
Funny.
Yes.
But I'll just say, man, it's good to see Jan Oblak get a tournament. Poor guy's had the summers off for a while.
Lord knows how long. Yeah.
We'll get to see a youngster who plays for RB Leipzig, Benjamin Šeško. He's been lighting up the Bundesliga.
Yeah,
but I mean,
fresh off new contract, so perfectly settled going into this tournament.
Yep.
Only thing he can do is raise his stock. Be very excited to see how he does.
Yes, he will definitely be one to watch. But I mean, this poor Slovenia team, man, they have one win at a major tournament, and that was at the 2010 World Cup against Algeria. So probably not the highest of hopes for this Slovenia team, but we'll see what they can do. Denmark, though. FIFA rank 21, Coach Kasper Hjulmand. Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. Let me know in the comments. How would you pronounce this guy's name? But they topped their group, as I mentioned. They got Slovenia in that group, and then they got them in this one. I mean, they got good players, though. You think about it. They have quality players. Andreas Christensen, Kasper Schmeichel, Simon Schär, Emil Højbjerg, Christian Eriksen, Yusuf Poulsen, and I'm actually excited to see Rasmus Højlund, see how he does in this tournament.
Yeah, it should be exciting.
I will say they were a dark horse for me at the World Cup, and they did terrible. So I'm not high on this Denmark team. They're one of those ones I like to root for because got some Danish heritage through my grandma, and she always rooted for them. So I always like to see them do well, but when I want them to do well, they always do really bad.
Well, let's just say it's better than my Irish heritage because we don't make it to any major tournaments, so at least you got that.
But I think they're a decent team, but honestly, not much else.
Yeah, I don't see them going very far. Maybe qualifying out of this group, and that's
round of 16, probably going out there. Yeah,
probably.
All right, well, let's move on to Serbia. FIFA rank 33. Coach probably has the coolest name in the tournament, Dragan Stojkovic. They finished second in Group G behind Hungary. And they got decent players on this team, sprinkled out. Milinkovic Savic is still there. Alexander Mitrovic, Kostic, Dusan Vlahovic, Dusan Tadic.
Yeah, Sasha Lukic also in there. Yeah, quite a few. Luka Jovic, Filip Kostic.
I think they can score goals, but it's if they can keep goals out of their own net.
Yeah,
because their defense and goalkeeper are a little.
I was gonna say, and we saw with Petrovic for Chelsea, is not very good at keeping out goals. So.
Oh, he did all right there at the end, but but that's what I worry about for that Serbia team.
I agree.
And let's move on to probably one of the favorites to win the whole tournament, England. They are FIFA ranked 5th, coached by Gareth Southgate, topped their group without losing a game. But I feel like the pressure is really on this England squad and Gareth Southgate to do well at this tournament. Like, I think they got to make it to the final as their minimum. I think if they don't win, I think either they win or lose. I think this is Gareth Southgate's last tournament.
He came out today and said if he doesn't win it, he's done. So I would guess it's probably either way his last tournament. So
he left out some notable players: Harvey Elliott, Reece James, Jack Grealish, James Maddison, Marcus Rashford. We saw Harry Maguire go out injured. Where do you think the biggest weakness is for this England team?
Defensively, for sure. I mean, all of their outside backs
are right backs.
Season.
I mean, for me, it's left back.
Left
back position and the other center back position. We don't know who's going to play there. Luke Shaw's been out injured.
I don't know
either.
Luke Shaw. There? The only reason Luke Shaw was included apparently is that they think he'll be fit enough to play all tournament. He hasn't really played all season, even if he is fit. I agree with you. Like, he's going to be their weakness. He wasn't having a great season anyways when he did play. So you're going to put Trippier out there? Maybe.
Personally,
are you going to play with three center backs?
I'd put Joe Gomez out there. Yeah. He did well for Liverpool as a left back.
Play with three center backs? I mean, John Stones is going to be in there. Is it going to be Lewis Dunk as his other one? I don't know. You know that Kyle Walker is going to play on the other side. So, yeah, I would say that. especially with whoever is going to play on the left wing being not quite defensively minded. I think you're onto something there.
I'm also curious who the third midfielder will be. With Declan Rice
Yeah,
and Jude
we've
Bellingham.
seen a bunch of different things. Is it going to be Kobe Mainoo, Adam Wharton? I mean, you'd think Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham have a lock on that. So
Conor Gallagher?
Could be. I wouldn't be my choice, but Gareth Southgate makes a lot of choices that I don't agree with. So,
well, what's your England lineup look like? Give me your England starting lineup.
Okay, Pickford in goal, because Ramsdale didn't play all season. Al Walker on the right. John Stones, I would probably say Lewis Dunk as the center backs. Joe Gomez on the left. I would go with, people are probably not going to agree with me with this one, but I would go Adam Wharton, Declan Rice, and Jude Bellingham, center mids. On the left, Phil Foden. On the right, Bukayo Saka. And up top, Harry Kane.
I think the only change I would really make would be Adam Wharton. I'd probably put Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah, I feel like what England needs is someone who's going to be disciplined and stay there to help out their defense, because we know John Stones likes to get forward. Lewis Dunk is good on the ball, but needs some help because he's not the fastest guy. So I just feel Adam Wharton, he had such a good season for Crystal Palace. I feel like just no nonsense. You need a bruising defensive midfielder. He's your guy. It will probably be Kobe Mainoo, though.
So how do you see this group finishing?
England topping it. Denmark in second. Slovenia in third. And Serbia in last.
Okay. I have England topping it. Denmark in second. Serbia in third. And Slovenia last.
Okay. Let's move on to Group D. So we got Poland. FIFA ranked 28th. Coaches Michael Proberts. Made it through on the playoffs. Finished third in their group behind Albania and Czechia. Knocked out in the round of 16 in the World Cup by France. Last time the Euros, they went out in the group stage. Coming off a good win against Ukraine. Biggest headline around them, Robert Lewandowski out for the opener. Questionable for their second match against Austria. Is there enough quality in this team for them to cause an upset in this group?
I really don't think so, man. I think they're poopy. I think they're poopy.
Yeah. Defensively, yeah, nothing really stand out there. I mean, Jakub Kiwior had a decent season for Arsenal.
They got
Bednarek had an okay season. He's getting old. Wojciech Szczesny also getting old. Midfield, nothing really stands out there.
Peter Zielinski has a good player,
yeah. Urbanski for Bologna was good this season. Zalewski for Roma.
Dude, he hasn't been playing.
Nothing. Yeah, but again, nothing that stood out. And then if Lewandowski's not going to play, are you going to be able to get enough goals? Those are my questions.
No,
and I agree.
I don't think they will.
No. Okay, my friend. On to the Netherlands. A team that, just like Italy, you never know what you're going to get. FIFA ranked as 7th, coached by Ronald Koeman. Came in second in their qualifying group behind France, which to be expected. They're having a hard time beating the better teams, though.
Yeah, I feel like everyone they're expected to beat, they do. But against a France, against an England, I don't think they can do it. I mean, you can see it even against Argentina at the World Cup, albeit by penalties. I just don't think this Netherlands team quite is there. I mean, they got loads of good players. You think of their defense. Their defense, theoretically, you think would be their best attribute. Van Dijk, Van de Ven, De Ligt, Denzel Dumfries. You got Jeremy Frimpong, Daley Blind. They got loads of players. Nathan Ake, yep. So, I mean, defensively, you'd think they'd be really good, but I think they're not. And I think it's because of their midfield.
Yeah.
Frankie de Jong was the one kind of defensive midfielder, and he's out. He's not in this tournament. So going forward, they got another host of talent. Xavi Simons, Reinders, Memphis Depay, Daniel Malin,
Cody Gakpo, Jeremy Frimpong.
Yeah.
Yeah. the host of talent. What can they do with it? I mean, they went out to PKs, like you said, against Argentina. One of the most exciting games I've seen in a World Cup in a long time.
Oh, this team is an
but what do you?
exciting team for sure.
It is. I mean, they average about a goal conceded a match. So for them to stop that, what does their best lineup look like to you?
For me, I don't even know who to put in goal, man. You got Bilo, who played for Feyenoord, Mark Flecken for Brentford, or Bart Verbruggen for Brighton.
And all three of them let in a host of goals.
I think I'm going Flecken in goal. And I'd probably do it a little weird in defense. It's going to be a back four, but when you're playing offensively, it's going to look like a back three. In Van de Ven, Ake, and Van Dijk. And then I'd have Denzel Dumfries as my right wing back, and then I'd play Jeremy Frimpong up top on the right and watch them just overload that right side. Up top, maybe Cody Gakpo, Xavi Simons. In the midfield, Reinders, maybe a Verman, Gravenberch.
Tough.
That midfield's rough, man. It's rough.
I like what you did with the defense. I kind of think that's probably the way to go. I mean, Memphis Depay just always seemed to show up at big tournaments, so I probably would play him at striker. I would almost move Xavi Simons into more of a 10 role. And then Gravenberch and Reinders.
Reinders also more of a 10 as well, though.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how they line up, it's gonna be more attacking, as they always do. So
this team will get caught in
missing
transition.
That defensive midfielder.
They are gonna get caught in transition, that's for sure.
Yeah, so they'll definitely be exciting to watch going forward, but once they get off the ball, it's going to be a shit show. All right. Austria. FIFA ranked 25th. Coach Ralf Rangnick finished second in their group behind Belgium, beating out Sweden, Azerbaijan, and Estonia. This team, no real individual players, but does have a lot of quality, and Ralf has them playing really well.
I like this team, man. I am high on Austria. This is a team full of Bundesliga players, and they play like a Bundesliga team.
Yeah. Ralf Rangnick definitely, I will say, knows how to get the best out of certain players in certain positions.
There's a reason Bayern Munich wanted Ralf Rangnick to come be their coach. And it's because of what he's doing with this Austrian team. They're fun to watch. They are missing a couple key players for this tournament, and Schlager and David Alaba. I feel like Schlager will be the bigger miss in that midfield, but I think this team can do good things this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the only worry for me is scoring. I think that's the only thing I really worry about with them. But Marko Arnautovic seems to show up when you need him. So
Gregorich has been doing all right at Freiburg.
As well.
You think of that midfield, you got Konrad Leimer, Christoph Baumgartner, Marcel Sabitzer, so they got some good players.
Definitely. All right, let's move on to probably the favorites for the tournament in France. Ranked second for FIFA, coached by Didier Deschamps. Finished first in qualifying, no losses. Do you agree with me that they're the favorites?
Yeah. Remember when I said there was tiers to teams? They're at that top tier.
Yeah. And I think probably them and England are probably by themselves.
I could argue for Portugal. Okay.
That's fair. I mean, they left a host of players behind. You see the talent in this squad. I mean, Michael Olise, Malo Gusto, Moussa Diaby, Matteo Guendouzi, Christopher Nkunku, and there is more. You just didn't list them today. This team is absolutely stacked.
Top to
man. Bottom. Yeah. What's the minimum of expectation for them?
Final. They need to make it to the final, I guess would be their expectation. Minimum would be a semi.
They've made it to 3 of the last 4 major finals and only winning 1. So
it was the last Euros where they took a fat dump.
Mm-hmm. So how do you see this group ending?
This group, man, France, Austria, Netherlands, Poland. but I think the 3 teams will make it out.
Okay. I'm going France, Netherlands, Austria, Poland, and I'm going to think only 2 make it.
No, man, you're sleeping on Austria.
I am, apparently. Okay, Group E, my friend.
Belgium. FIFA ranked 3, coach Domenico Tedesco. How is this team ranked 3? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. No idea.
I mean, they finished top of their Group F in qualifiers with no losses. I mean, they do have loads of offensive talent. It's their defense. It's a little worrying. Old. It's old. There you go. That, they left out Thibaut Courtois. He had some riff with the coach, so he is not there. So you lose your best shot stopper in the world. But I mean, Jan Vertonghen is still playing in this team, man.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me, man.
We'll probably be starting.
Same with Thomas Munier, man. They're old. Yeah, I don't know. They going forward, they can play like 7 or 8 different formations.
They could. They have a lot up there. I mean, we'll just start at the tippy top. Romelu Lukaku, Luis Openda. I hope Openda gets the start, man. I'm really hoping for him. You got Charles de Ketelaere, Yannick Carrasco, Johan Bakayoko, Jeremy Doku. Moving into that midfield with Leandro Trossard, Arthur Vermeer, Axel Witsel, Kevin De Bruyne, Amadou Onana. I mean,
Yuri Tielemans, Arthur Vermeer.
Yeah.
Keep going. You could keep going. But, yeah. The fact that they have more midfielders in this squad than they do defenders and goalkeepers combined is crazy to me.
So, like, was that
apparently they just won't be playing defense.
Over?
I don't think they ever were.
I mean, there was a World Cup where they were expected to win. They came in, I think, 3rd.
Yeah, but they haven't done anything. They haven't made it to any finals.
I think I heard something. It was their only team to be ranked 1 at a point during FIFA's rankings and not win a tournament.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I think because, I mean, I'll say it, man. I don't think there's any pressure on this team. Do you think they can go out and perform? Make a deep run in this tournament?
I think so. I worry defensively that they can't keep up with the big boys.
I mean, they kind of seem to constantly underperform at these tournaments. They got knocked out of the group stage at the World Cup, lost in the quarters at the last Euros to Italy. What do you think they can make it? Do you think they can make a semifinal?
No. I think round of 16, maybe quarterfinals for them in this one.
Okay. Let's move on to Slovakia. FIFA ranked 48, coach Francisco Calzona. They finished 2nd in their group behind Portugal, beating out Luxembourg, Iceland, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Liechtenstein. This is their 4th major tournament. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Will definitely be interesting to see how they do defensively in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree with that. Going forward as well, I'm not sure how good they can do. I'll be honest with you, I didn't see a lot of them in qualifying. They could also be a dark horse. I don't know. Looking at them on paper, I don't see how they finish in as far as qualify for the next round. I don't see how they do that. So
well, let's move on to the last team, Romania. FIFA ranked 46. Coach Edward Lurdanescu, however you say it. They finished top of their group ahead of the Swiss, losing 0 games, only conceding 5 goals. Is this going to be a case where qualifying doesn't mean much, especially with the group they topped?
It very well could be. You just look at the teams in the group. Yeah. I mean, we do have one more team in Ukraine, but yeah, I think it very well could. Very well could.
Yeah, it's honestly, this is probably the team I know the least amount about, watch the least for me. They weren't at the last Euros, weren't at the last World Cup.
Had a pretty weak group to play in. Yeah, I don't know many players on this team either. Seem to be playing all over the place. I know Radu Dragusin for Tottenham. It's pretty much the only player I know on their team. So,
well, let's move on to Ukraine then. We know some from there. They're FIFA ranked 22. Coach Serhiy Rebrov. They finished third in Group C behind Italy and England, and they beat Bosnia and Iceland via playoffs. So they got through it by the skin of their teeth, man, especially against that Bosnia playoff. They probably were not the better team.
No, I didn't think so at all.
But they made it to the quarterfinals at the last Euros. They did not make it to the World Cup. This team does have talent.
Yes.
Kind of sprinkled out. I mean, you think of Andrei Lunin in goal. They have Alexander Zinchenko from Arsenal. Ilya Zabrani from Bournemouth. Mihailo Mudryk, Artem Dovbyk, Roman Yarmolenko, Mikolenko, who plays for Everton. So they got decent players.
Yeah, I think this is actually quite the quality side. I think Ukraine might surprise some people in this. They tend to have a lot of fight in them. And defensively, they've been surprisingly much better than I thought they would be. So,
and don't forget,
I think they'll surprise some people.
Qualified without playing a single home game. That's got to count for something. So, how do you see this group? How do you see this group finishing, man?
I'm going to expect this very similar to you. Belgium finishing top of the group, Ukraine in second, Slovakia in third, and Romania dead last.
I have it going the same way. Let's move on to the final group.
F. Yes. We got Turkey, coached by Vincenzo Montella. Finished top of the group in qualifying ahead of Croatia, losing only one game, but they did terrible at the last Euros, losing all of their games after being seen as a dark horse. Didn't qualify for the last World Cup. Are they the dark horses again in this tournament?
The dark horse? No. Are they probably one of three? Yeah, I could see them doing something like that.
Yeah, I would say definitely there is a lot of talent on this team. They look good in qualifying, but again, qualifying doesn't mean a whole lot when you get to the major tournaments. So, next up, Georgia. Ranked 75th. They're the lowest ranked team in this competition, coached by Willy Sagnol.
French right
First time in a major tournament, qualified through the playoffs, finished fourth behind Spain, Scotland, and Norway. One of those teams didn't make it. Which will they be the worst team in this tournament? Or can Kavica Kvaratskhelia put this team on his back and cause some upsets?
I think it helps they're in a group with Turkey and Czechia, Czech Republic. So I think they could get something. The one I feel bad for is Albania with that group with Croatia and Italy and Spain. So I think it could either be Albania or Georgia.
Okay. Let's move on to one of the favorites for this tournament in Portugal. FIFA ranked 6, coached by Roberto Martinez. Top Group J, winning all 10 games. 2 against, 36-4, both best in qualifying. This team is loaded with
on paper,
talent.
Man, do you think they have the second best team on paper?
Second or third, definitely. And I think it's quite a ways between them and the next team. Definitely.
I mean, I'm guessing the real third is France, England, or Portugal.
Yes, 100%. The real question seems to be, does Ronaldo start for Portugal?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think he starts the first game and seeing how things go. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes well. He sticks with them. If not, maybe bring in Goncalo Ramos.
Yeah. Where are the expectations for this team? Is semifinals a minimum, or do you think the finals, maybe win it, should be their goal?
This one's tough because it seems when expectations get put on this Portugal team, they don't quite live up to it. Versus when they won the Euros last time out, not a whole lot was expected of them. And so I think Yeah, they should, with this team, on paper, make it to the semifinals at a minimum.
At a minimum. I probably agree with that. But, I mean, they've lost in the last 2 Euros in the quarterfinals to Morocco and Belgium. So, we'll see. Or I guess the Morocco was the World Cup.
World Cup. But I'm curious to see what that midfield will look like. I want to see Vitinha, Paulinho, and Bruno Fernandes in that.
Yeah, again, host of talent. All right, on to Czechia. FIFA ranked 36th. Ivan Hasic is their coach. Finished second in the group behind Albania. Lost in the quarters of the last Euros. Failed to qualify for the World Cup. They have decent players in Patrick Schick, Adam Holzek, Thomas Suchek, and Vladimir Kofal. Do you see them qualifying out of this group?
If it is, it's in that third position. I think they probably could get some points beating Georgia, maybe a draw against Turkey, something like that. So they could get quite a few points. But I do have them finishing third in this group.
How does the rest of the group shape up for you?
Georgia last, Turkey second, Portugal first.
And I have to agree with that because pretty clear cut, in my opinion. 2 teams are better than the other 2. All right, Targo. On to our predictions. We'll go through these relatively quickly. Let's start with winners. Who do you have
let's save that
winning
one for last.
The whole thing?
Let's save that one for last.
Okay. Surprising upsets that could happen.
Ooh, surprising upsets. I don't know if it's an upset, but Portugal winning this thing. But I also think Austria could make it to the semifinal.
Ooh, that is definitely an upset that could happen. Players to watch. Give me your top 3.
Top 3, I'm going to go Nico Williams for Spain, Florian Wirtz for Germany, and Kenan Yildiz for Turkey. Young Turkish striker, plays for Juve.
I'm going to stick with Turkey, and I'm going to go with Ataguler for Real Madrid. Riccardo Calafiori, Italy's 22-year-old center back from Bologna. It's fantastic this season. And then João Neves.
He's a good shout.
Portugal and Benfica.
Young
19
midfielder.
Years old. He's a stud. Okay. Toughest group, Group B.
Group of death, yeah.
Yeah. Easiest group, F, E, or C.
Easiest to pick or easiest to get out of?
Easiest to get out of.
I don't know, man.
All right. We'll let you guys decide. Let us know in the comments. Top 5 teams.
Oh. France, England, Portugal. And I'll say Spain and Germany.
Okay. England, France, Portugal, Spain, Croatia.
Croatia. Okay.
All right, Targo. Drum roll, please. Golden Boot winner.
The one and only Kylian Mbappe.
I'm going to go with the shocker. You ready? Kai Havertz.
That is a shocker.
All right.
Your arsenal is showing on that pick, man.
Nah, I got a feeling, man.
You got a feeling.
Yeah, it's just a Germany thing. Okay. Winners, Euro 2024, Targo.
Gotta go with the favorites, man. France.
I'm going to pick a shocker because you probably thought I was going to go with England. I'm going with Portugal.
Ooh.
Yeah. But what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments. You can also let us know on Instagram, Brews Banter FC, TikTok, Brews FC, Facebook group. Make sure you're checking out that, getting in the discussion. Make sure to check out our Redbubble. Awesome merch. You got mugs, stickers, plaques, banners, hats,
t-shirts,
shirts, clothes, everywhere. Whatever you want, we got it. And then make sure you guys check out Acorn Hills. Some awesome merch, awesome stuff they got going on there. Everything bought with their new line. Make sure you're ready for the 4th of July if you're in America. It's Independence Day. Till next time, my friends. Let us know who your Euro winners are.
Football vacation on the way, baby.
Let's go. Cheers.
Cheers.